Brothas of BOTB.
Hey, it's the Hump Day Happy Hour Tap In. I am Carolina Dirt 803, and you are here. Today, we're going to do this show without my brother Jay walking. He had scheduling complications, so we're going to get on with this Hump Day Happy Hour Tap In because we can't get to the weekend without it. So today, our guests, we have two guests, returning guests. So first, we have Chrissy, who's a returning guest. How you doing?
Hey, she ready. Hey, how you doing?
She is ready. So how's your week been so far?
Woo, I am like still coming down from an event that I did almost 2 weeks ago. I'm still flying high.
Hey, better than walking. I tell you
Hey,
that.
I take it any day. I take it any day. But it's hump day, and Wednesday is for wine, so I'm here for it.
That's what's up. And our next guest is, of course, a recurring guest, Miss B Love. How you doing? LGL Real Talk.
Hey, well, hi guys. Good evening. Happy Hump Day. Always happy to see you, Carolina Dirt. Nice to meet you, Chrissy.
Yes, likewise, be love.
So y'all already know what we're gonna do. We about to hit this first call, and I hate to say it, I don't want to do it by myself, but I'm gonna do it by myself. So who wants to go first?
I'm on for it. I see what you got. What you got?
She said she read. All right, who's closer to you, your friends or like your cousins?
Ooh, who I'm closer to? My friends or my cousins?
Yeah.
Some of my cousins are my friends, and some of my friends are my cousins.
I mean, that works out.
It really depends.
Yeah, some people don't mess with their family.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a truck driver, what would be your call sign?
I don't know. Like, I guess wine and red.
Wine and red. We're gonna go with that. So check this out. One gotta go. We talking songwriter. One gotta go. So one gotta go. All their music gotta go. Jermaine Dupri, Babyface, or Neo. All their music.
Babyface we keeping. I can tell you that right now. That's icon legendary right there. Jermaine Dupri, gotta go.
Hey, Jermaine, that's Usher. That's
but you know what? No. I take that back. I was going to say not all, because he got other people that's coming with him. So then it's Neo.
Neo got Beyonce songs. He got some Beyonce songs.
I don't care. I don't like his lips. I'm sorry.
What does his lips have to do with the song?
A lot for me. It's just when it comes to his lips and him with the hats and always, I can't get with it when he does that. Great music. Great producer, but it's the lips that just boggles my mind.
Okay, we're gonna go with iconic, more iconic. The artwork from Good Times, where they're dancing in the club, or the one on the Cosby Show over the fireplace.
Ooh, Good Time.
But that's more iconic. Oh, that's
because it's more at that time frame about Black art, that makes it more iconic and what it stood for during that time frame of that series.
I mean, you got a point. All right, my last one. Which one of your senses is the strongest? Taste, touch, smell, nose? I guess so, because you're a wine.
I gotta smell it. Yeah. Everybody at home always goes, "How can you smell that?" I'll come in and be like, "Who? Did somebody burn something?" I still smell it, so it's my nose.
All right, B Love. What's something you do to get your mind right? Like, do you ride in the car, sit at the house, sit in the bathroom? What do you do to get your mind right?
Riding the car is usually my first go-to. I like to just go for a ride, play whatever music is in my vibe, and just, take a loop around the city. I'm in New Jersey, but, there's so many highways that kind of connect in New York where you get all the views from the east side to the west side, back uptown. So definitely a drive.
All right. What would be the perfect job for George Jefferson if he didn't own a laundromat?
A smack talker. He would have been a great radio host, I think.
I
was thinking that. I was like, either that or a lawyer. One or the other.
Okay.
That would be dope.
Smack talker.
That would be dope. All right. My next question. If you was Whitley Gilbert, different world, what do you do when Dwayne interrupts your wedding?
That was the scene right there.
That was the scene that I just saw it the other day too. That's so funny. I would probably go get my man because I already know he was my man. So I'm rolling with Dwayne.
Hey, you were breaking up a little bit. What'd you say?
I said I'm rolling with Dwayne. If he comes to get me at that wedding and I know it's that 100, I'm out with you, boo. You know you my man and I know I'm your woman. Let's just stop.
Stop with the nonsense.
Let's just stop with the shenanigans. Let's just go.
All right. Who was your favorite TV dad?
I would say Charles Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie. That was my favorite show growing up. Yeah,
really?
That was my favorite show. Yes, and I love
Never watched
Charles. Wow, Charles Ingalls.
You gonna have some people go back.
I'm gonna have to go look at that because I don't care what happened. It's still Bill Cosby for me.
I know, and it has nothing to really do with any of that because sometimes you just have to respect a body of work, and I respect a body of work.
That's what it is. I respect the character,
exactly.
not the person.
Artist.
Yeah.
Exactly. I respect the artist in terms of his craft. So I'm not mad at that. But just like when I think about TV growing up, that was the first TV show that really showed a wholesomeness to family life. So that's why I said Charles Ingalls because I was a big fan of the show.
That is true when you say it like that. Yes, I do know some parts of Little House on the Prairie, so that is true.
Yeah, there was some wholesomeness there.
So before I get to my fifth question, what was his strongest trait you feel like?
He was just patient, and he was just, he always seemed to have an approach that was just patient through any situation. He handled things the way he needed to. He was angry when he needed to be angry, but for the most part, he was this easygoing guy who had his family and was just trying to make it happen. He was a hard worker. He was a provider. He was a husband, and it was like he wanted to. So it was just something to admire and look at and say, okay, here this man gets up every day super early. He's doing back-breaking work, you know what I mean, to make sure
there for his family
has what they need. Yeah, and it was all simplistic. It was happiness and simplicity. There wasn't anything fancy about it. It was just love.
Well, child, now you need to be able to do that and along with take vacations all the way across the world to be able to impress your children and your family.
Okay, and they still don't care. They could be sitting in a private island and they're still like, that's it?
They're right. I came here for this? Exactly.
Hello. Hello. I mean, these kids are hard to impress. And I'm like, I just wanted to go to Great Adventure. Great Adventure was a win for me. I get to go get on all the rides. So
Hershey Park, all of that.
Those were wins for us. Now
listen, I'm taking mine on a cruise. It's like I got to do something that's bigger than what I did before because the expectations are so much harder now for parents from their children. So I get what you're saying. The simplicity of it.
My last question: a better story told. Love Jones or Love and Basketball?
For me, I would say I go with Love Jones just because I think it's not only was it prevalent then, it's still happening now. Just people who are missing each other because of baggage, and you know what I'm saying, and traumas and stuff that they went through, and you're wasting time. Like, let's just do this. What are we waiting for? But when you've been hurt, you kind of just, sometimes push it away.
Hurt people.
Exactly. But heal people, and it's, when you look at the story, I just feel like it's still relevant. Love and basketball, I don't know that people love like that anymore. I probably, and I don't want to be the doubter of that, but I don't think that people go into it with that childhood eyes wide shut.
No, they're all selfish and in their own bubble now. Like, so I don't even think they even have a mindset of what a relationship really should be like.
A healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Because, I just got off of my show and we were talking about, how people take away from other people and how people allow people to take away from them. You know what I mean? And how do you
Absolutely.
stop to do that? So, when you talk like love and basketball, again, there's this love there, there's this stuff there, but then there's life there. Yeah, you know what I mean? But Love Jones is like, we're sabotaging ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and that's what I see.
But you got to think, Love and Basketball is like, people always talk about the father not in the house. His father was there, but he knew what his father was doing. So that's something that's happened
exactly
a lot presently. I mean, but I'll just say thank you for first call. Y'all made first call go pretty smooth. Yay. So thank you, ladies. We will start off with the whole takeoff incident. Prayers to his family and friends.
Yeah.
But once again, he's not the only one. There's a lot more losing their life that are not famous.
Right.
Ladies, whoever wants to go first, we'll go with you, Chrissy, if you just want to speak on the topic for a brief moment, and then we'll go to Be Love.
First of all, like you said, prayers to and condolences to his family, friends, and anyone that had a connection to him, because a loss is still a loss. And when you lose somebody that you're close to, it's traumatic. Second, in our community, and I saw somebody post this, they were saying in rap music, we talk about shooting, killing each other, money, women, all these vile things.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it happens in reality, we just can't fathom and understand why. When we really, really, really need to sit down and look at what we're creating and the energy that we're putting out that's coming back right to us. This is horrible that it happened to him, but it's going to continue to happen until we get a hold on what's happening in our communities and how we treat one another. It's almost sickening to see the lengths that we'll go to kill each other. And when I mean each other, our own skin. We are so angry with each other and so emotional over the little things that we're easy at taking lives with no problem. So, I mean, I hope if nothing comes from this, that, because we always say this should never happen again. This doesn't need to happen again. We done been through it, Nipsey, Biggie, but it keeps happening. So when something keeps happening, they call that insanity. And that's where our community is right now. We're insane because we won't stop doing the same thing over and over again. So unfortunately, he's gone, but he won't be the last.
Won't be the last.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely. I again, sending prayers and love to the family as well. It's a difficult time. I think the part that a lot of us are struggling with is just, there's a couple of things for me. Here you work so hard to get away from those situations, but then you put yourself right back in that situation.
Right.
And we're talking about shooting dice, and I was talking about this on the morning show I do this morning. I said, a dice game can be literally somebody's rent or somebody's kid's food. It's that kind of game. It's very street, it's very gutter, it's very competitive. And a lot of guys play it for the competition part of it. It's not even the money part of it, but they'll go in and they'll wipe somebody out who doesn't have that kind of money. And, we're at a time where, and we get to those periods where everybody's okay. And then we get to those periods where times get a little lean. The wolves are out. And I just don't understand why you would continue, any of these entertainers put themselves in these places where they're compromising themselves and their lives. For what? You know, you're wearing gold chains. You know, these dudes out here snatching gold chains. You know, somebody was talking about the hood. I'm like, the hood? Nobody cares about robbing from the hood anymore. There's nothing in the hood. They going to the rich people's houses. They're kicking down their doors right now with guns and, you know what I'm saying, with weapons. They're trying to take from them. And so you guys as entertainers or people, and I get it, you work hard for your money, you want to be able to you know, wear what you want to wear and do what you want to do, but sometimes you have to put yourself in a different environment and space. If you want to play dice with a group of people on your level. If you knock them in the head for $10,000, they're not mad at it. They're just like, I just want 10 stacks. But you know what I'm saying? They're not trying to kill you over it. Right. And I think it's just the mentality that our you know, we as a people, to your point, have to stop the violence towards each other. But let's be clear, let's not put ourselves in the line of fire either.
I was gonna say we lack personal control. Because it doesn't matter if you play dice, spades, tonk, dominoes, it's gonna happen. And,
because we'll start speaking to each other over a spade game.
Yeah, you know, that car starts slapping the table.
You done reneged and you had them books.
I mean, Uno's the same way, Monopoly's the same way. So, and like I said, like I told y'all before we went live, like there's so much I want to talk about. It's gonna be hard to get. But when you talk about generational wealth and generational curses, does that play a part? Because if you're in Houston hanging out with the same people you would have hung out with in Atlanta, it doesn't matter the location. It doesn't matter the location. So it is a curse because that's who you associate yourself with and you feel comfortable. There was a post, a meme a couple of weeks ago where it says black families set their kids up to fail. So that's part of the generational curse because they don't have generational wealth. But this guy was creating generational wealth, but the curse was hanging around with the same people that he would have hung out with if he didn't have money. Right. So do you believe the curse is the problem, or is it the chase of the wealth?
I think to me it's just situation and circumstances. You just don't know. You know, that's I think the unfortunate part about all of this is that the same way, you know, Biggie was in Cali thinking he was doing his thing and he got killed. And they're living their lives. They're not going through the precautions of, you know, my life is same person every time. Yeah, they don't look at it that way. They just look at, I'm going to the bowling alley. I'm with my people. We're going to go bowl. We're going to go shoot dice. We're going to drink. We're going to smoke. We're going to do what we do. They're just living their lives. And, you know, to a degree, I get it. What are you going to, that's like us like me saying, I'm never going back to the World Trade Center because of what happened 9/11. I can't stop. I can't live in fear. But I also think that, again, there's a protection.
But you have to live in reality.
That part.
You do
and the reality of it is you now are worth $26 million from what I heard. $26 million. The reality of it is you're not that same person. And the people that you grew up around don't look at you as that same person. They look at you as that person that's worth $26 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is the lifestyle.
It is. Yes, it's the lifestyle.
You
So
know?
do y'all feel,
because that lifestyle is telling them that they gotta stay connected with their people in their hood. You know, they gotta still, in order to continue to create the kind of music they create, they have to still be a part of what you said, Tito, that lifestyle.
Right.
So as y'all being women, black women, you date somebody, or you're married to somebody in his situation, you watch them come up from the hood, and you don't see him spiraling, but you see little things that he needs to do better. I want him home at night. Like, what do you say to him? We're not talking about the average guy that works. We're talking about somebody famous that's all over the TV. Like, what do you say, like, telling your kids, I hope daddy come home tonight? Like, you were saying that living in the hood, but now this guy's rich, and you still got to say, I hope daddy comes home. So how do y'all feel as black women and with this whole thing?
It's only so much that you can say as a black woman to a black man. You know, they're still going to do what they want to do, even as adults. Yes, we are. We are, I believe, lost as a people right now. And you want to hope that you connect with your mate where they understand where you're coming from. But because there's such a disconnect within the Black community and the relationships that we are in, it's hard to get them to understand that you're communicating that you don't want anything to happen to them, instead of, she's a nag, she just wants me here, she's getting on my nerves, I need to be this, I need to be that, instead of just understanding it's not safe out here for Black men, period. It's not me trying to control you. It's not me trying to know your every move. It's about me wanting to be able to love you until we're old.
But that's part of
protecting. It's a protection.
But if
they don't see it that way, because a lot of women can't even convey it that way. A lot of times we also have the problem on how we speak to our men to get them to hear us, because y'all don't hear us when we going, where you going this time? Wait, are you home? You ain't hearing. You ain't hearing. But if you're trying to sit down and have that conversation, and it depends on who you dealing with too, because some of these guys, they want to hear that. Where you going? What you doing? They're not going to be able to hear you when you're saying, sweetie, it's just, I need you here. The family needs you here. It's not safe out there. So it depends on the situation.
But it's business though, like, not saying that, like, we don't know where he was before the dice game or wherever it was. Because some people say they were arguing over basketball. So I don't know if it was a dice game that led to a basketball talk. But like, these people have other events that they have to show up to. But did they
like buy out the whole bowling alley? It was a private event or something.
Yeah, but it's the people from the block. You got to think, they're taking these people, they homeboys from the block that they grew up with, or that they know if there's a problem, that they ain't scared to do something. But
I'm telling you right now, if I make it for $26 million, I don't know anybody that's from my hood that need to call me now, then, or ever, that we can all hang out with. I'm sorry.
But I'm saying that's still your image though. Like, you out the street, that is part of your image. So you kind of need that to create the buzz, to create, to put you on social media as being out there. So that helps with your pocket. That helps with the 26 million.
Yeah.
But I think that there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. I think one of the problems that I think is going on with relationships today is that nobody's really taking the time to understand who the other person is and how they operate. No. When you get to know your partner and how they operate, if your dude is a street dude, then he's a street dude, and there's certain
and that's what you signed up for.
Exactly, that you're saying okay to. Now, that being a street dude does not necessarily mean that he's cheating over other women. But from a certain time to a certain time, he's out in the streets. That's what he does, and that's what you are signing up for, to your point. Absolutely. If your man is a stay-at-home man, if he's the type of man who he goes out and does what he needs to do, but he'd rather be at home, but he's just going to go out, even if he's an entertainer. I have my show tonight. I'm getting in. I'm getting out. We know those people. They're not hanging around. They're not at the after party. They come into work and they leave. If that's your man, you know your man. I think we have to take the time to figure out who the people are that we sleep next to, that we have issue with when they want to go to work. And then they're in the middle of their job and they're not picking up the phone while you're calling them.
You're having a problem with that.
Yeah, it's like you having a meltdown. Like, he's not picking up. I'm working. Working. And when I get home, you have all my attention. We can figure out whatever it is. Emergencies are emergencies. I'm not talking about that. But you get people who are like, I think I can deal with it until I'm in it. And then when I'm in it, it's an issue for me.
And it's men like this too, not just women. It's some men that are really, really super clingy, that want your undivided attention like they 2-year-olds.
All the time. And it's, it's even for me, it's a challenge dating, because it's like, I'm working.
Oh, you're breaking up, baby.
Yeah, I hope you ain't dating with that connection.
I'm breaking up, B.
And my back now, that's funny.
You coming back and forth. But I understand what you're saying. It's so funny you were saying that you were talking about that. I was talking to my 80-year-old aunt today. And we were talking about relationships, because her hope is that she will see me married and blah, 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 blah. And I always have to tell her, Aunt, I'm sorry, but that may not happen in your lifetime,
Right.
She's 80, just being real. Right. And I'm like, I said, Aunt, people are not built the same. A lot of us don't come from the same backgrounds. It's all about me. I don't understand you. You know what I mean? And they don't want to understand you. We together, but I don't really know who you are. And that's a problem in relationships. You know, like I dated someone that didn't understand, had never seen the dynamics of how my family moves. Because they never experienced it from their family. So it was hard for them to adjust on how close I was and I am with my cousins and my brothers. And they just couldn't, they never seen it before. So how do you expect a relationship to work when they don't even know where they're coming from, you know, what their background is? Yeah. Right. I can't expect for you to understand that I'm okay with everybody coming to visit and staying at my house if you don't even speak to your own cousins. Right. You know, that's weird.
Right.
Sure.
But I think I think part of a relationship and being with someone is teaching them too. Like
they gotta want to be taught. So many of these people are just like, they just fighting. They think they know what a relationship is, but they really don't. I mean, I'm just finding out a lot of things about my own self going back to therapy.
Exactly. And that's the thing, that people are just not self-accountable. You have to be accountable and aware of who you are. You have to like yourself. You have to want to. If you can't spend time in a room by yourself, how do you expect somebody else to want to be in your space and rock it out with you? You don't even like you, you know?
Yes,
yes. I was telling somebody the other day.
There's that growth.
No, I was just saying, I was telling somebody the other day, like, sometimes you got to admit that you're wrong. Like, you can still be wrong, but some people don't even want to admit that. I know I'm wrong a lot, and I apologize a lot, but I just know but I can admit it. You got some people that won't even admit that they're wrong, so there's no, like, I evolve slow. I know I'm a slow evolver, but I evolve. Some people don't even admit that they're wrong.
And won't evolve.
Start the evolution. The evolution. Like, you have to start an evolution sooner or later. Whether if you're 16, you're still doing stuff at 25, and somebody else is 16, and they're doing the same stuff at 35.
You gotta leave them alone.
You gotta leave them alone, but there has to be an evolution sooner or later. You can leave them alone, and they evolve after you stop messing with them. But at least they evolve sooner or later. Some people.
But you also have to be prepared that some people may never evolve.
And you have to meet people where they are. I think once you understand where they are, you have to decide if you want to be there with them. Because I can't bring myself, you know, my struggle is I can't bring myself down to meet you down here. I've worked super hard to get to a certain level, and I'm going upwards. I'm not looking down. I'm not looking back. I'm just going this way. So if you're causing me to look back or look down, I don't know that I could really rock with you, because that's not where I am now. If you're open and if you do understand accountability, self-awareness, if you are somebody who's comfortable in your own skin and who can be by themselves, I date myself. I take myself out. I have a great time. You know what I mean? I can have this conversation with anyone, anywhere. It doesn't have to be about anything. It could be about everything. And to be able to be in that space where I'm not codependent. If you didn't text me this morning, I'm like, oh my God, life is
over. He's with someone. Or,
He didn't call me 5 times today.
I need you to give me until 11 o'clock anyway, because I'm still trying to process that I'm woke.
Exactly. You know, when you can get to that place, then now you can start actually looking at other people and saying, I don't know if I could rock with this. I don't know if I could rock with inconsideration. Because to me, if you like me and I like you, I should be hearing from you in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I should be getting a little.
Well, I thought about you. You know what I mean? Told a friend of mine, he had a young lady with him a couple of weeks ago, and I said, she looks like a nice young lady. You know, you need to look into that. Well, I'm taking my time. I said, man, we 40. Don't waste that woman's time. You either like her or you don't.
Intentional. And that's what I'm saying. Like, to your auntie's point of we all want to see, you know, our loved ones happy, but people today are not built the same. Men are not intentional. They're not consistent. And neither are women. They got
too many choices.
Let's be clear. Right. I want to put it on both sides, because I don't want anybody to think I'm men bashing.
No.
People are not intentional. It's instant gratification. I can get what I need. I'm going to have all these deep conversations for the first 3 days. And after that, I'm good.
And you know, I want to piggyback off of that, B-Len, because a lot of people are always going at Nick Cannon. Oh, I can't believe he's done this. He's done that again. Another kid. He didn't have these kids by himself. These women intentionally decided to have a child with him, knowing how many other children he had with other women.
More than one.
So let the blame. I almost feel like the blame is more on the women than it is on Nick.
Yeah, because
Really.
they going right, but they going right behind each other, knowing he got all these kids. Like,
You know what
what
I
they
mean?
gonna say about you? And everybody knows who you are, so the next man knows you just got knocked up
And
on
it's not
prison.
like he picked some, like, he ain't come talking to me. He
Right.
talked to women that had they're at stable levels in their career. They didn't need him per se.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like
Right.
you
That's why
couldn't have
he
done this
likes
for a
it.
check. Yeah, you couldn't have done this for a check. You did this because you intentionally wanted to do this. And not enough of us are having that conversation, talking about the mindset of the women that he's involved with. It's not just him that's in this situation of having all these children.
Right.
Somebody said that also these kids don't understand love. Like, because y'all talking about everybody wants it now. So if they never experienced love at 15, 16, 18, 21, when they
Right.
do fall in love at 28, 29, that's why they're killing their partner.
Yeah, because
Because
they're
they never
so emotionally
they're
out of
so
control. Remember, I was
yeah,
saying it earlier. That goes back to the shooting each other and think our emotions, we don't know how to grapple with the feelings that we have and what to do with them. They're so intensified right now. If I find out somebody was calling you while I'm sitting with you, oh, we got a problem. I want to find out who that is. I'm running up on them. I'm hurting you and them, their whole family and everything else. For what?
Right. For what?
So emotional distress going on here.
Right. It's that codependency. It's like that drug, that they have. So you get something, and then it's just like, I just want to hold on to it at all costs.
yeah.
And that becomes scary on the other side because I personally can't do clingy. I don't do super emotional. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to show who you are, but at the same time, you can't be in tears every day. Like,
No.
as somebody who's like, it's like you kind of got to figure out your balance. And I always say, if you want to lead me, you have to be a leader. You have to be worthy of me saying, I'm going to listen. I'm following. I'm submitting to this man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let him rock this show, and I'm going to be his support system and his backbone. And I
Well, I
feel
hope
like
you
I
got
have
internet
to
service.
do
'Cause
everything.
yours is bad.
You gotta
I
stop
hope you
roasting
pay
my
that bill.
internet.
B-Love, I know your bills are up to date.
We didn't all experience it as podcasters. All three of us are podcasters. We know what it's about.
But it's on B-Love tonight, so I'm gonna rag
Right.
everybody and then go
We
on.
out the clear tonight. It's not on us.
Yeah,
I will
B-Love.
take
Tell that man to
it.
pay that bill. Get you some. You
Hey,
on dial-up.
Carolina Dirt.
T-Mobile.
I want to take a moment to make sure I told you about this sauce that I got from Big Wally's. This is some drizzle sauce. So let me tell you guys, I went tonight to Taylor Smoked Cigar Lounge in Concord Mills, North Carolina. And Big Wally's barbecue is always out there. I think the first Wednesday of every month. Okay. And they make their own sauce and seasoning. And this sauce, now you know how they say you put that red hot, I put that on everything.
Put that shit on everything.
I put this on everything. Let me tell you. I brought it in the house and my mom was like, well, let me see what it's about. She opens it up and she pours it on some chicken that she had. And she said, oh my gosh, this is good. So I told you. So I just wanted to scream them out. They're doing some great things here. They actually just won an award in barbecue. I can't remember where it was. I think it was in South Carolina. I'm not too sure. But look them up. Big Wally's Barbecue.
Okay.
Well, I do want to take the time out. We're not closing, but I do want to take the time out because I didn't do it at the start. B-Love, please tell people about your podcast, and then we'll go to Chrissy.
Okay. So I have a podcast called LGL Real Talk every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. on Instagram, where we really talk about all types of things that impacts people's ability to be their best selves. We talk about breaking those generational curses. We talk about being accountable. We talk about growth. We talk about healing. We talk about love. And, every Wednesday at 7:30, we talk that ish. So please feel free to come through. It's going to be my 2-year anniversary, 11/11. And I'm so excited. Yes, thank you. I don't know. You guys are in the Carolinas, but I'm going to be celebrating in White Plains. And Intro is going to be performing. So, all these amazing things. But please make sure you stop in for a conversation every Wednesday, LGL Real Talk at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can't wait to see you guys.
real quick, hold on.
Awesome. I gotta go find you on IG.
Yes,
All right,
please
Chris,
do.
before you tap in, Chrissy, I just want to tell you, B-Love has a dope podcast. As long as you're respectful, she'll let you come in and speak your mind, which I like is dope. It's on the spot. It's critiqued by a lot of people from up north. So if you down south, you might not like their brashness, but it's a dope conversation. It's very dope. B-Love will get on your ass if you come in there disrespectful, but it's a real dope conversation. I've watched it several times.
Thank you so much, Carolina Dessert. I appreciate you.
Go ahead, Chrissy. Go ahead and hit them.
All right. Chrissy with Parlare Wine. So I got a couple of things going on. I got Parlare Wines, which is now almost 2 years old. It is now one of the blends. The white blend is in Napa at Kingsley and Fort Mill. So you can go and order a bottle or order a glass. The other two blends, well, all three blends are sold online. Looking forward to finishing out a license to have them here in stores in Carolina and moving right on up the line. And in my spare time, when I'm not out here trying to get people a little wasted, I do a podcast as well with one of my closest, dearest friends. It's called Wine, Wealth, and Tea Podcast, where I bring the wine, she is the tea, and our guests bring the wealth and the knowledge of the conversation. So we try to have on guests that have things to talk about politically, racial issues, parenting issues, just a plethora of things that are sometimes uncomfortable for other people to talk about. So we try to bring that on to the podcast. We just finished out our third season. I'm going to be working on the fourth season, separating it from Parlare Wine's page. It's still right now on Parlare with Chrissy on IG, so you can catch any of those previous seasons, and on YouTube with Parlare with Chrissy as well.
So I do want to get on this podcast thing. I know people that are watching this, if you know me, I'm always sharing other people's stuff. I think I share other people's podcasts more than I promote my own podcast. But I want these ladies to explain to everyone about the work that goes into podcasts. And obviously we'll have this conversation later on again, because we have so many other podcasts we network with. But me and Chrissy were just talking, and we just talking about there are certain etiquettes when it comes to podcasting. And B-Love, you know, my infamous one, when I came on to yours, like I tapped in on hers and there was a dude wilding on women. And like when I clicked in, like it threw me off, because I clicked in and he was like, these bitches, this, but I ain't calling y'all bitches, but y'all bitches. And she was like, but the etiquette part was she let the guy finish before she destroyed his ass and kicked him out the room. But there are certain podcast etiquettes that B-Love, because yours is so open. Can you list us a couple of podcast etiquettes?
Yeah, so you first to your
Hold on,
point,
B-Love. Tito got something to say.
Pull the antenna up on my phone. Y'all have jokes. I can't believe my internet is this bad today. I'm so sorry.
And don't blame T-Mobile, because I got T-Mobile.
I got T-Mobile. That is so funny.
Yeah.
Some etiquette definitely is, listen to learn and then listen to respond. I mean, and what I mean by that is don't just jump into, we hear what we want to hear and we respond to that. And instead of listening to a person's complete thoughts and trying to see what perspective they come in, being a podcaster, you're in control of the live and what's going on and how people are behaving and interacting. And it's our job to, manage that process while they're in it. And so, I always try to listen. I try not to cut people off. Something I had to learn, because I'd be like, wait. And they're like, can I finish? So I had to learn that. But, and the other thing is just keep it respectful. I understand that you want to come on, and I understand you have an opinion and you have something to say. But for me, it's how you deliver the message that really, how people digest it, as opposed to just, being rude. So those are a couple of things that I would suggest, when you're podcast.
B-Love. All right, Chrissy, what do you have to tag on to what B-Love is saying?
Be present in the moment, and that goes for the people that are for me, that I'm interviewing. Sometimes you may run across people that are not present. They're there in the interview, but they're not present. They don't even hear you. They're just there talking. So be present, be on time, be a person of your word. I know for my podcast, we do a little bit of an email that's sent out to you ahead of time that you agree to everything. You get a couple of questions that are going to be the norm questions, who you are, where you from, blah, 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 blah. You get that so you know what you're walking into. And it's like, if you get that and you still miss the ball, I mean, you don't have any etiquette about what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to build. And that's kind of defeating my purpose. So I don't work with you again after that myself. So.
Well, I appreciate y'all ladies working with us, because I know sometimes we be professional. A lot of times we crack jokes, but we do try to keep it honest. Like,
no, I love you guys' podcast. I think it's fun, it's refreshing, and it's real.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's the other thing. I think like each one of us has an important role in society to help stop the generational curses, like to take their mind off of the microwave, the I want it now. Like, you may say you want it now, and then you're listening to B Love's podcast with 5 different guests talking about relationship points of views plus the comment section. Or Chrissy, you're giving people generational wealth answers or asking their questions for them. So I think in the same sense, like, you guys are saving people. The guests might not acknowledge it right now, but the fact that you invited them on, they don't know checks to somebody else.
Oh, the same thing for you. You
exactly.
give us opportunities to come on and talk about who we are and what we're trying to do and have fun while we're doing it.
Exactly, which we're so grateful for. I'm super grateful for. Thank you.
Yeah,
being able to work together. It's hard within our community. We say it all the time that we need to learn to work with each other more. And I think it's happening, but you got to really push for it. So for the 3 of us to be able to get together, and we all have our own entities, our own things going on, and say, hey, it's about you guys right now. And we're here to support your show. And this is what we bring to your show. That's something major within our community.
Yeah, because I was having a conversation today about, supporting Black business brothers. And technically we are Black businesses also, like, we give a service. And I don't quote me, but we lack customer service. Like, we can have a good product. We can have a great product. Whether we can have a great product or service, but our customer service, how we hold a conversation. Like, you can go cut my grass perfect, and then I'd be like, hey, thank you, and then you go way left field. That's part of your customer service. If I don't like the way you pressure wash the house and you respond effed up, that's customer service. If I
tell you that I'm not gonna be able to work with you this time, but I'll keep you in mind for something later on down the line, and you don't even reply at all.
Right.
Okay. Like, okay, well then I just don't, I feel like something like that, it deserves at least a reply of a thank you for keeping us in mind. Let us know what we can do for you further. Something. But our lack of customer service to our clients is the reason why some of our businesses can't grow. And I'm actually having an event next month called the Winter Wine Wednesday event here in Charlotte, where we're getting business owners together to do what I'm calling business talk, to talk about things like that, how other businesses can work together, how we can do better customer service representation within our community, how to just build our best foot forward as small business owners.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to also who we're trusting with our business. When I'm going to invest in your business, and there's people who understand that everybody's not an owner, everybody's not going to be the boss. There's some people who understand that everybody has a lane that they have to rock in, and they do it with pride. And that's what I'm finding is lacking, is this work ethic or this pride in what you do, no matter how big or how small. It's like, Absolutely. If it's not glamorous and you don't have a title, it's not important. I'm like, I'm that person who has built it from the ground up. To this day, I have no problem taking out the trash or sweeping up. None of those things are bigger than me. The end game is not bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Or my ego shouldn't be bigger than the end game. When we talk about customer service today, there's this, well, I don't get paid enough. And it's so funny. I just was working with this franchise owner. He owns 10 retail wireless stores.
Hold up,
And I've
B-Love.
been working.
Your internet bad. You work at retail wireless. My bad. Go ahead, B-Love. Go ahead, B-Love.
Oh my God, you are so crazy. Oh my God. Yo, the roast is
You
real
opened the door
today.
for that one, B.
I know, right? I just walked right into it. You know, but you know, working with his staff in the store, the attitude, the energy, everything was so off that I had to sit the owner down and just say to him, you know, I don't want to walk in your store. I don't want to walk in and see somebody and you know who's got an attitude because maybe she's having issues with her boyfriend, or somebody who just came from a whole nother country and feels like, oh well, you guys are American and you have it made, and you know this should be. And I'm just like, what? I don't care what's going on. Just come in here and do your job. Do your job.
Again, B, that ties right back around to emotional distress.
Yeah.
You see, it's so much emotional disorders that's going on in so many different areas that it's just messing with everything, from relationships to your businesses to how you treat your kids, emotional issues. You know,
Do y'all think?
and it's emotional health, just like mental health. There's emotional health, and that's part of your mental health.
Do y'all think COVID, when COVID came and it sat people down, it did make people sit by themselves? Like it just
and they didn't like themselves.
They
did not like themselves.
So when they came out their house, it was a flush of bad energy.
Yeah.
So now people aren't going to work. Customer service is bad. If your restaurant open up at 11 o'clock and I see your busboy smoking weed outside before the restaurant open up at 10, that is not a sign of a successful day. Like I have no problem with the weed shit. I really don't.
Right.
But if I walk to your restaurant, your business, and I see that before I step foot, that's a bad energy I'm walking in.
Right.
Because now in my head,
and your mindset wasn't right to come to work. Your mindset was on something else.
But for every little thing, I'm gonna be like, that little was high. Like if I don't get all my utensils, my whole part of the business.
It's because he high. It's because he high.
Like he the only one to work there, but because he high. But
they all back there getting high. My food cold. This ain't right.
Yeah, but he back there, and at least he's back there. Let's talk about the people who don't even want to get up and go to work. Let me tell you, I live in downtown Newark, and when I tell you the hustling and the homeless game is real, and I'm just like, homie, you stood out here for 6 hours in the sun. And all I'm saying is you could stand this for 6 hours at Home Depot. Get a real
that
check.
part.
Get some benefits. Get some coverage. Like, what are you doing? And so, the reason why people, even in those positions who are working, aren't giving great customer service is because they're underpaid, they're overworked, they're not appreciated. You know, people just they treat other people, especially people of service, like crap. You know, there's but so much that you can kind of take. So there's this chain of events from your point from COVID, where now it's like, I don't want to deal with this because you don't pay me enough. They sat all these people home, gave them all this money they did absolutely nothing with.
No, at all. They bought some sneakers. That's right. They bought some Yeezys.
You know,
and the value has now depreciated on.
You know, and now it's like, now what? And it's just like, so, you know, mostly I try to
no, you could get into a good point.
B-Love, you gonna have to hit the rewind
button. My God, my back. I can't even see myself. There I go.
You was good. You was going too. You
know, I was saying, I always try to be the person who changes the mood of the room and the energy of the room. I don't care how nasty you are. I'm still going to say, good morning. How are you? You know what I mean? And sometimes I don't get anything back, and that's okay. I'm not going to change who I am, you know, I'm not going to come down here to meet you.
I got to work on that. I have to work on that because I get pissed off when I say good morning, and these younger adults, they don't say anything back. And I'm like, well, what the hell is wrong with you? I said good morning. You walked into a room. Like,
so you ain't going on their Facebook. I said good morning, little B.
Right. And they'll respond to that. Now, if I go on your Facebook, you'll respond. But if you're in a space with me, it's like Ugh.
That's socially awkward. But that's the thing. They're socially awkward. Think about the fact that our kids are being born right now, and as soon as they come out of the womb, they're being handed an iPad.
They're getting a tag name. They're getting. I mean, look at people, celebrities' kids. They get their own names that they're hashtagging and stuff when they're born. I'm like, how does that even happen?
Girl, they get the iPads. They're getting the iPhone. They're getting the AirPods. The next thing you know, my grandson is 1 year old. He has his own iPad with his own Beats headphones, and he gets into Miss Rachel, and I'm just sitting here like, what the hell is happening? The kid is not even talking. Why? Nobody's conversing with the kid. Why?
Right. Because now I'm, as the mother, now I'm texting the baby. Right, I'm texting the baby that's sitting next to me because this is the best conversation I can get. With emojis.
Social skills.
Well, B-Love, since you said it, and I heard you say it on your show, give me 3 things that's nostalgic to you.
Nostalgic.
I heard the show. You did a pretty good one now.
Thank you. Nostalgic. I would say the holidays, even though I don't really celebrate them, they're nostalgic for me. They take me back to a different time and a different era of how we were raised and brought up. I don't know, the age range, but I would imagine we're all over 40, some of us 50 and over. I just go back to that innocence, childhood, waiting for Santa Claus to come down the chimney. You know what I mean? Because our parents wouldn't snitch. They didn't. Today, parents are like, there's no Santa Claus. I'm Santa Claus. It's like, give me something to hope for.
Give me something to hold on to.
Dream about. You're killing me right now. So I think that's something that makes me feel nostalgic. Older people take me to a place of just love. I don't care how cranky they are. I was
just thinking that one for mine. Dang on it.
I don't care how cranky they are or however, I just love them. They bring so much to the table. They just remind me of a time as well. And then the last thing that I would say that's nostalgic for me is certain foods and meals that I eat that again take me back into my just days when I was a kid, and there was innocence and it wasn't all blurred and it wasn't all out there and perverted to a degree. Kind of feels like there's no innocence anymore. So yeah, those would be the ones for me.
You used to sneak the hunch, now they having sex. That's 2 totally different things.
Okay. I want to get back to
all the way.
There was something to that humping game. That was foreplay. We just didn't know it at the time. It does not exist anymore.
No, everybody just jumped right to it.
Right to it. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Well, B-Lynn kind of took my first 2. Which is, older people. When I see an older person, an older woman, with a pocketbook or a purse or that smells like perfume. Yes. I don't smell perfume on young women anymore. I was telling my 80-year-old aunt this too. They all smell like weed.
Right.
Right. So when I smell perfume, that brings me back to a time that was just beautiful, which then brings me to my second one. When I hear gospel music. For me, I grew up in the church, and I'm a PK, I'm a preacher's kid. And when I hear gospel music, and I don't mean the gospel music that we have now, and there's nothing wrong with it, but to me, that doesn't take me back. What I mean is when I'm hearing the Winings, the Jermaine Hawkins, all of those type of things, John P. Keys, those artists take me back to a moment where I can remember on a Sunday morning getting my hair pressed and my ears burnt because it was Sunday morning and I had to get ready for church. Right. So old gospel music takes me back to those moments. And the last one, I'm going to say holidays too, because again, it brings me back to my grandmother, who meant so much to me. She's been gone 6 years now, but Thanksgiving was her favorite holiday. So this time of year for me is like, it takes me all back to my house and growing up filled with family. filled with friends.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving when we were younger lasted all day.
Yes.
All day. You going
Yes.
from this person's house to that person's house, and visiting with family, getting plates of food. By the time you finished, it was 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you so stuffed. You done passed out in the car as a kid.
Yes.
Now, Thanksgiving starts around 2, 3, everybody gone by 4 or 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
If the kids go at all, they don't even want to go at all. I'm like, y'all have a choice?
Yeah.
Did we have a choice?
They had no choice, and I was up helping clean the greens and peel the potatoes. Okay,
that's right. Contribute. Exactly.
I would say I saw on your page you took a picture of a singer of one of my favorite songs. You took a picture of Rance Allen.
Yes,
yeah,
that is, and I cried when I met him, because it took me back. My grandmother had already passed, both of my grandmothers, and they were both fans of the Rance Allen group. And when I met him and I told him, I said, I'm sorry, I'm crying because my grandmothers would have just lost it to know that I'm meeting you. And he was just so sweet. He said, it's okay. It's okay. And he held my hand and he said, they're in a good place now, baby. And I cried even more.
On my way out, I guess my nostalgia would be snow. We grew up in the Midwest. Our parents were in the military, so we moved around. So just having snow on Christmas, a white Christmas, is just South Carolina. You just don't have that. No, we got 80-degree Christmases. Like we got Christmas. You got in sports talking about going to the lake.
That's it.
This one is weird because it goes for 2 and 3. It's the color of the sky, depending on when you look at it. So if you catch it on sundown when it's really reddish, that just takes you back to my childhood before the street light comes on. And if you catch it at its peak in the summertime, that's just kids out playing.
Yes.
Like those 3 things are like obviously it's nature, but even now, like sometimes if I catch the sky at the right moment where it's just like red, like a reddish color, it's like.
I think I posted a picture of that too, Caroline. I
do it all the time. Yeah, I do it all the time. But ladies, I want to thank y'all for tonight. It's been a dope conversation. I know we touched on a lot of stuff. It sounds like we were rambling, but it just felt natural and dope. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go at the last call, and we're gonna let Chrissy go first, and then we'll take it to Be Love. So say whatever you want to say. We don't care. Tell them dirty girls they need to shower. Tell them girls they need to use real soap.
That part. Use some real soap in a washcloth, girls. And please stop thinking that having long nails mean that you're clean, because you can't be possibly clean when they this long. It's just not, doesn't make sense. Something ain't right. So, wash yourselves, ladies, and make sure you keep your nails clean. Get some perfume and stop thinking that we can't smell the weed that's now stuck in your weave, because we can. Get some perfume, and I don't mean Bath and Body Works, because that doesn't cover up your weed. So get real perfume, ladies. If you're gonna drink wine, make sure you drink real wine. Stop thinking that the wines that you get out the Family Dollar is real wine, because it's not. Right. Drink real wine. Learn to experience something different in your life.
Yes.
That's what I have to say. And to make sure you go and follow Parlare with Chrissy on all platforms, on IG, on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok. It's Parlare with Chrissy on all platforms, and YouTube as well. It's a lot that's coming your way with Parlare over this next year, so get ready for it and make sure you get your bottle now, because once it goes, you're gonna be trying to find it.
I seen a young lady today buying some Taylor Port. I bought her. She gonna have a rough night. She buying some Taylor Port. I was like, but go ahead, Be Love.
I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be on your platform and just be able to share my information and my thoughts. Thank you, Carolina Dirt. And to your brother as well. You can catch me on LGO Real Talk on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Follow me. Make sure you check out the show every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. where we talk that ish about being your best self in every sense of the word. And I thank you again, Chrissy. So nice meeting you. I can't wait to see you out. Too. Thank you.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
I just want to say thank you, ladies. My thing is always network is a superpower. This is an example of us as BOTB network, and both of y'all ladies have been on the show before. Obviously, we're gonna bring you back again. We definitely gotta. B Love's already had a show with Tiki Blue. We got Chrissy. We gotta get you on Tiki Blue. She's high energy. Matter of
Okay.
fact, I try to do all three of y'all at the same time because she actually has her own podcast also. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah, that'll be a dope thing. But I just want to say thank you to both these ladies for coming on here, representing Black women, just sharing how they felt at that moment on this show. Please go support these ladies. They both got a good product, good service, a good whatever you need. They got it. Thank you. I mean, there's nothing more to say.
I got what you need. I got what you need.
Exactly.
What I need. You say he's just a friend. Say he's just a friend.
Exactly.
Oh, baby.